Welcome again, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the channel. Real quick, I want to go over, y'all see the screen I have up? I want to go over a subscriber's question he have. Now, I assume he's contemplating replacing his PCM for several fault codes that he have. One of the codes was P2302 and the other one was 2311. Okay, they pretty much the same. This one here stands for ignition coil 1 secondary circuit insufficient ionization. All right, let's go over this, buddy. I want you to look at something real quick. I would not be able to type all this in, so I want to go over this with you. Okay, first of all, under the diagnostic, here's some of the possible causes. Okay, it could be an intermittent DTC, and that is very likely on this. And this is a 09 Dodge Caliber. I think that's what it was, a caliper. And yes, there are plenty of ways the wiring circuit can become open. Right there around the valve cover gaskets on the left side, you just have to yank up on that harness and see what happens. But for the most part, let's go through the diagnostics real quick. Okay, again, possible causes. You could have an open fuse, one of the main fuses. You could have a actual coil fail. Now, under your initial question, you stated that you replaced the coils. Okay, so I assume this is your last option. You're getting ready, or you're thinking about replacing the PCM because that was part of your initial question. All right, now let's go through some of these diagnostics. What they want you to do first, before you do anything, take the connector. Let's use coil number 1 as an example. Okay, take that connector off of the coil. All right, what it say? Turn the ignition off. Disconnect the coil harness. Okay, turn the ignition on. Now take your test light, put it to a ground. Follow my mouse, okay? Take the other end of your test light and put it at pin 3. That should light up, okay? There should be 12 volts right there, all right? If you don't have 12 volts right there, you might as well stop, okay? Because you're gonna always have this code active. All right, now, if you don't have 12 volts right here, let's go back up to the wiring harness, okay? Here's coil number 1. Here's a pin 3 on coil number 1, okay? According to this wiring diagram, this pin is fed 12 volts through a fuse 23. Now, your car have a tipper, okay? That is the big fuse box on the left side strut. So if fuse 23 is blown, sure, that is why you do not have power supply at pin 3 of the coil, all right? If fuse 23 is open on both ends, okay, this is a fuse, so you can easily test for both ends. If you don't have power supply on either end, then you need to go to the circuit that feeds this fuse. Okay, let's follow this. That will happen to be this relay right here. Let me stroll this up. This relay, and this relay is fed by a mega fuse, okay, fuse 18, which is also found in the tipper. It's a 40 amp fuse. So basically, I suggest you verify that both of these fuses are good, okay, and this relay is working as it's designed. Now, the relay is pretty easy. Just swap it out with a known good relay, but make sure both fuses are good. Okay, let's move right along real quick. All right, let's assume you have power supply there. All right, okay, let's go back to this coil. All right, pin 3. We're going to assume you have power supply. As I stated before, if you don't, follow the diagnostic as to why you don't have power supply. All right, now we down at the control side of the coil. All right, this coil is controlled by the PCM, which is this. All right, this is your wiring. It's on a connector 2 of the PCM. Okay, from this point to this point should be this is duty cycle fed, by the way. Okay, so this computer will duty cycle this ground when this coil is commanded to fire. That's when you get this ground. So basically, let's move back down to the diagnostic. All right, we have come to the conclusion, or we are under the assumption that you have 12 volts right here. All right, now what they want you to do, they want you to measure resistance from here to here. But let's do this right quick. On this illustration right here, this pin 2 right here, okay, put your connector or your test light, the end on a positive side, the battery positive side. Now what you want to do is take your test light and put it right here. Now what you want to do is have somebody spin it over. This test light should blink on off, on off, on off, on off, on off. That indicates that your PCM is working. And if that's the case, do not replace your PCM because it is doing its job. It is duty cycling this ground. That coil should be firing. But again, As you stated before, you have replaced this coil. So I'm going to assume that your coil is good based off of what you stated. Now, if your computer is not duty cycling this ground, if your light is not blinking on off, on off, on off, what you need to do is verify that the wire from here to here is good. Now I noticed you asked me how do you do a load test. This is a test I would normally do to verify that this circuit is complete. Normally in the past I would do ohms test, but engineers got in my ear and they hammered home as to why you should do a load test. Because the ohm test, if you do an ohm test from here to here, you could have one strand in that wire and your ohm test would pass. Which means it's just connected. That doesn't mean the wire have strength enough to carry, you know, the circuit through. So that's why I'm gonna do a whole nother video on load test. But for now, if you got an ohm meter, let's go ahead, put it on the bell sign where the sound. So ohm test from, again, this is connector 2. Grab connector 2 on your PCM, open it up, go to what is that? That look like pin 76. All right, to pin 2 of your coil. You should have continuity. If you don't, do not replace your PCM. The circuit is open. Okay, so now what we used to do sometime, we used to do a overlay. We'll overlay a wire from here to here and see if you get everything work. If you don't have room to overlay, now a caliper is pretty the wiring is pretty sophisticated. It's routed all over the place over the valve cover. So just say you open from here to here. Man, what I would do is grab this wire harness with both of your hands. It's at the valve cover, by the way. Just start pulling on the harness and then see if you have continuity from here to here. If you all of a sudden gain continuity from here to here while you're pulling on the wires, you just got to open circuit somewhere in that wiring. Okay, but I caution you with replacing this PCM because you may not need it. Again, if you get in this duty cycle, the test light is lighting on off right here, you do not need this. If this circuit is open from here to here, you may not need this. Okay, you need to find out why it's open. So if I was you, I would concentrate on finding out if this circuit is complete, and also you have power supply at pin 3 of the ignition coil. All right, I don't want this video to be long, but that's where you at. Again, if all else fail, man, grab the harness, man. I've seen countless shorts in these harnesses. Grab the harness and just pull up. Start it up and see if this code is still active. Now you're gonna need a scan tool to erase the code, but if you automatically start running good or running better after you relocate the harness, then yeah, you have an open circuit in here. Okay, so I will not advise you to replace this PCM until you verify everything we just talked about. You would be wasting money, and I do not like when my subscribers waste money. All right, buddy, man. I hope this helped you out, man. Again, this pretty much applied to the other code you sent me, P2311. They basically the same test. So I would do everything I just mentioned and see if you have power supply at pin 3, which is right here. You should have power supply. Hook your test light up to ground. Turn the key on. See if you got power supply right here, and then check right here. Have somebody spin it over. Put this end of the test light on the ground, and you put your put your test light on pin 2. Have somebody spin it over. That should blink on and off, on and off, on and off. All right. Now base your diagnosis around those tests. All right. Thanks for watching, man. I got to get up. Thanks for watching. Comment, subscribe, and I hope this helped. And I'll see y'all in the next video.